Batman vs. Superman. The Dark Knight versus the Man of Steel. The greatest gladiator match that there ever has been or ever will be. It was okay. The movie would have been better overall had it have just focused primarily on the Batman-Superman conflict. They jumped around so much with the setup for the Justice League and all of the different nightmares and other stuff like that, but it just seemed like an unnecessary interjection that just took away from the movie, distracted the audience. I think they could have gotten by with like an hour 45-minute runtime and it would have been a great movie. And to be honest, Batman was the best thing about the entire movie. I was a huge Affleck hater whenever they first announced that he was going to play it, but he was awesome. I thought he was great. It was just disappointing to see Wonder Woman fight just for the sake of having Wonder Woman fight in this movie. Had she have just shown up as this plainclothes kind of cameo, Easter egg kind of thing, that would have probably, it would have been more subtle. It just seemed like, just like everybody has been saying on the internet, they just shoehorned in a ton of different characters, and they even shoehorned in a random storyline with Doomsday at the end of it, just for the sake of it. I feel like kind of why they shoehorned in all of these characters in this extra storyline is to get audiences kind of caught up with the major characters of the DC universe, when what they should have done was just do a Justice League movie, have everybody introduced and fight one bad guy, and then have them all separate to do their own standalones after that. Instead of having to start with Superman, then, introduce Batman and Wonder Woman, and then interject the Flash and Cyborg and Aquaman into the movie. But since they just kind of crammed everybody into this movie, it made it feel jumbled, it made it feel messy, and it didn't feel natural. It was so awkward the way that they presented all of these extra characters. You don't even care that you just saw the cameos of the Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman. They just they blew their wad on this whole thing. Just by watching the trailers, I pretty much felt like I had seen the movie, and I even had friends of mine come and tell me that that's essentially the case, that if you've seen the trailers or the TV spots, then you've essentially seen the movie. They took it in the direction everybody thought that they would, and it turned out the way that everybody thought that it would, which is a colossal mess. I wouldn't count out the DC universe just yet. Silver lining, Zack Snyder's not going to be directing all of them. So hopefully once he gets removed from these projects, we'll actually start to see better DC movies. Thanks for joining for this week's Movie Minute. Be sure to catch me next week, and I will see you guys then.